All right, shalom out there, brothers and sisters. Let's see if we can get this chat up. Gonna get this quick combo stream going. Let's wait a minute, see if anybody comes in there. See if we can share this. We can't share it. Enter text for chat. Okay. All right. Anyway, I got to get this thing moving and going here. Let's see if I can share from this. And this is really didn't have an intention on doing this, but Most High gave me a lesson through the Spirit. So this is going to be entitled, and I don't know what the title is. Will the U.S. ban Russian oil? Okay. So we're going to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect out there. Okay. Now, again, this is going to be entitled, Will the U.S. ban Russian oil? Combo stream. And what a combo stream is now, you know, Most High put the Spirit on me to actually use this app. So this is going to be a combo stream. Okay, the first like this, I've done it before, but I didn't have the name for it. So this is going to be the combo stream. We're able to go live like this. We can also go and we can read scriptures. Let's do it now. Open Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. We'll start at verse 7. It says, Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak in thine ears, and in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's the same thing we're doing now. We're speaking of war, evil, and pestilence here. Okay? Hey, shalom, brother. All right, so as I said, this is the combo stream. You can actually see me, right? And then you can also see whatever the screen sees. Okay? And I'm using that Prism Live app again. So Lord willing, this will be quick. But as the scripture that we read said, Jeremiah 28 and 8, the prophets that have been before me and before them of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war, evil, and pestilence. And as this thing with Russia and Ukraine and America and Israel and Iran and China and Japan and North Korea, right? And all these different nations, Germany, France, Switzerland, UK, Poland, as it goes on and on, we're seeing more and more that the Most High is in control, which we already knew that, okay? But prophecy is coming to pass, and it's our job to speak of war, evil, pestilence, all these different things, right? So the wars and the rumors of wars, the evil, you know, the NWO, the MOTB, all these things are coming, and we're excited, right? Brothers are excited all over, man, because we've been prophesying these things to come, and it's good to see the major events unfolding. And this whole thing with these finances and with the oil and this and that, this could lead to some interesting stuff. This could lead to exactly what we want. Cashless society. They're supposed to also announce a new world reserve currency, if I'm saying it right, you know, today at some point. So we'll see. Let's go real quick and let's get a news report. I want to go here first to let's go here and grab this one. Not that one, Salakia. Let's get this one right here. This one is entitled, The House is Preparing to Vote on a Bill to Officially Ban Russian Oil Imports. Let's watch it.
In Washington, the House is preparing to vote on a bill to officially ban Russian oil imports, landing what President Biden calls a powerful blow to Vladimir Putin's war machine. The legislation is expected to pass with broad bipartisan support, but some Republican lawmakers are criticizing the Biden administration for not doing more to boost domestic oil production. Meanwhile, 2 Americans held in Venezuela have been released after a rare meeting between Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and U.S. officials, as the White House considers lifting oil sanctions on Venezuela. Let's bring in White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks for more on that. Mary Alice, government data shows about 3% of oil in the U.S. comes from Russia. So how big of an impact will this ban make on Russia's economy and here in the U.S.?
Yeah, Diane, well, yesterday President Biden said that these new sanctions will target the artery of the Russian economy. And it's true, this is Russia's main export. But you're right that only about 1% of Russia's oil goes to the U.S. So it's hard to know whether this ban on Russian oil imported into the U.S. will really make a difference on Russia's economy. But it does send a message and is clearly a part of a larger global strategy. The United States working very closely with European allies that take a lot more of Russia's oil. And we're seeing businesses really step up in this way. We're seeing Shell Oil announce just this week that it's going to stop buying Russian oil. JP Morgan had an estimate last week that Russia is already having a hard time selling about half of its oil as companies are worried about taking a reputational hit by working with Russia. And they're also worried just logistically about buying Russian oil. So I think that this is a first step that the president is trying to make a big, trying to make a statement here, Diane.
And Mary Alice, what do we know about these Americans released from Venezuela? Is that connected to the administration considering lifting sanctions?
It's hard to imagine that this is a coincidence here. You were right that the United States sent a delegation to Venezuela this last weekend. We know that they talked about energy security, talked about the possibility of Venezuela increasing oil output to sell to the rest of the world. That would be highly controversial. As you said, it would be a big deal for the United States to be working and having a business relationship again with the Venezuelan government. And you saw instant blowback over the weekend, even Democrats criticizing President Biden for considering this.
And so the Pentagon's rejecting Poland's offer to supply Ukraine with fighter jets sent through a U.S. air base, calling the proposal not tenable. Why don't the U.S. officials think this will work? What's the biggest concern?
The biggest concern is that Russia would see it as a serious escalation, that Russia would view it as the United States or NATO supplying these planes, being directly involved in the war effort in that way. And President Biden has made it very clear that he does not want U.S. troops directly involved in this war, whether that's on the ground or in this way in the air. So they're very worried about the logistics of this and also just the logistics of dealing with these actual planes, how you have foreign-made planes on U.S. bases. Diane.
Right. Mary Alice Parks, we appreciate it as always. Mary Alice, thanks. And the U.S. ban on Russian oil is expected to have a direct impact on the already skyrocketing gas prices here at home. Meanwhile, some of the biggest, most iconic American companies are joining the growing list of businesses suspending operations in Russia. Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis has more on that. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, Diane. And this morning, gases have hit another record high, $4.27 a gallon, up 63 cents in the last week with this Russian invasion into Ukraine and the escalation. Now, the ban on Russian imports here into the United States. Replacing that supply is going to take time. We'll have to ramp up domestic production. That takes time. There's also questions, controversial questions, difficult questions to answer about whether or not the United States lifts sanctions on places like Venezuela and Iran to make up for that shortfall, goes to OPEC countries, goes to Saudi Arabia and pressures them to produce more for the world markets, which would send prices lower, but again, is not without controversy. Meantime, a number of major U.S. companies have pulled out of Russia. McDonald's, Starbucks announcing they are shutting down locations. Coca-Cola and PepsiCo announcing they will no longer sell soft drinks in Russia. Diane?
All right, Rebecca Jarvis, thanks for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking.
All right. So y'all heard that. Let's go out of there. All right. So there's actually another one too. Let's look at this one real quick. And before we go there, we'll come back here momentarily. Yeah, so Lord willing, it's still going. Let me move that so they can't see you. All right. So I don't know if the stream's still going, but Lord willing, it is. All right. Can you go to YouTube on your thing so I can see if this this thing is still going, because it might have shut off. Anyway, Lord willing, it's still going. We're gonna continue on with the stream. So as y'all saw that, they're preparing to try to ban the oil, and two Russians, not Russians, two Venezuelans. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, we still going. I believe it's black now. Oh, it's buffering. Wait a minute. if it's still going or not. I think it's just buffering. Did it? Maybe. May have to abandon it.
Space fair taking eruptions, it said.
I don't know. Okay, the brother said I'm still live. All right, so Salaki, yeah, if I'm still going, that's good. That's good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read a quick scripture here, and then we may have to wind up shutting it down. Just hold on here. Let's get a quick scripture. All right, let's go to Matthew 12. Right, and this is Matthew 12 and 22. It says, "Then was brought unto him one possessed with the devil, blind and dumb. And he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand?" And that's what we want to leave this, because right now you're seeing a divided kingdom. Even though, let's wait for this to come back, even though the Russians are not officially part of NATO, they are part of the beast. Okay, they are part of that beast with the feet like a bear that Daniel saw. Okay, and I don't remember exactly what book that's in. It's in Daniel, but I don't remember exactly what chapter it's in, should I say. So you're seeing them at odds. They isolating Russia with the whole oil and with the American companies and all of that, and also the whole United Nations community are also following America, Babylon the Great in that same endeavor. Let's also get real quick here. Let's play this quick video. This is Venezuela releases two detained Americans. All right, this is only 1 minute and 45 seconds. It's gonna be real short here. Hold on here. This is only 1 minute and 45 seconds. It's gonna be real short here.
Breaking news overnight, 2 Americans held in Venezuela have been released following talks with the Biden administration as the White House considers lifting oil sanctions in Venezuela. Senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Georgia. This could be a sign of a real shift in the relationship between the U.S. and Venezuela. Overnight, the authoritarian government there releasing 2 Americans held prisoner just days after we know about this rare meeting between President Maduro and top U.S. officials who are now considering lifting oil sanctions on Venezuela. The released men are Gustavo Cardenas, an oil executive held for 5 years, and Alberto Fernandez, a tourist who was arrested last year. Now, overnight, President Biden in a statement saying, quote, "These men are fathers who lost precious time with their children and everyone they love." And Biden thanking the diplomatic teams who helped to secure their release, George.
And Mary, the timing of this, of course, is notable. The U.S. could use Venezuelan oil to replace Russian oil.
Yeah, and the White House insists that the release of these prisoners are not at all related to these conversations about possibly easing oil sanctions on Venezuela. But as you note, this is very interesting timing. Look, we know they are having these discussions. Venezuela has huge oil reserves. And of course, there's a new urgency to this. Now that President Biden has announced he's banning the import of Russian oil and gas here in the U.S. and is looking to fill this void. But of course, this is not without controversy. Maduro, we know, has been accused of massive human rights violations, George.
Yes, he has. Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephan.
All right, so they say it's no coincidence. So what America's doing, or what's happened, is these 2 Venezuelans that got released. Right now, America's starting to have negotiations, and they're considering lifting the oil ban that they had against Venezuela. So they're gonna replace the oil that they're missing from Russia with the oil they're gonna get from Venezuela, which has been in the past a Russian ally. So we'll see. Things are heating up. What we're gonna attempt to do now is just hold here. I'm gonna go and shut off this Bluetooth. Hold on, if I can do it. Let's see if I can get it done. right, hold on, y'all. All right, Salakia. So I gotta actually drive here for a split second. But what we're gonna do while I'm driving to this destination, I'm gonna put these earphones in. I'm gonna play you another video here, okay? And then we'll come right back. Just hold on here. All right, so Lord willing, you can hear. All right, close that. Let's play another video here. This one is White House at odds with Poland over sending fighter jets to Ukraine. All right, so this is about 5 minutes long, and we'll come back right back. Check it out.
Starting with the latest on Ukraine, we continue to see heartbreaking scenes of families trying to flee the country. Talk of a new ceasefire to facilitate evacuations, but as you know, past attempts have repeatedly failed. The people of Ukraine are living through a cycle of fear and uncertainty. This morning, President Zelensky came out with a new message. He addressed that proposal from Poland to send fighter jets to Ukraine through a U.S. air base in Germany that has already been rejected by the Pentagon.
Meanwhile, the White House has delivered another blow to the Russian economy with that ban on Russian oil imports to the U.S. Now, that effect is being felt all over Russia. It's being felt here at home as well, with already sky-high gas prices expected, Robin, to soar even more.
And we do have team coverage this morning from the White House to Ukraine. Our senior foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, there on the ground in Kyiv, starts us off. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. We're inside one of the main hospitals inside Kyiv. They are receiving the war wounded. So soldiers, yes, but also civilians. Many of them with bullet wounds, others with shrapnel wounds, multiple traumas, and they're having to work around the clock, doing shifts. The doctors aren't leaving here to treat the increasing number of casualties. Meanwhile, we have the 6 humanitarian corridors, temporary ceasefires to try and allow people to escape the fighting.
This morning, thousands of civilians attempting to flee their homes again amid renewed attempts at local ceasefire agreements. Previous ones have repeatedly failed.
Well, that is what a Russian ceasefire sounds like. We're on the outskirts of the town of Irpin. We've been hearing the sound of bombardments over the last hour as civilians try to get out, as ambulances try and go in and rescue people, as they try and use the opportunity to get out of the town and to safety. But still, there are dangers. Still, there's bombardment.
Among those seeking refuge are some of the most vulnerable, the elderly, who can't travel on their own. We spoke with 85-year-old Nina Mikhailova, who was forced to flee the bombing. She says, "I can't believe it. Since my childhood, I thought the Russians and Ukrainians were fraternal people. How could this happen?" A caregiver writing her information on her arm with a pen in case she gets lost during the evacuation. Amid the talk of ceasefires, the attacks go on. Malin struck overnight, destroying homes, and the emergency services saying 5 people were killed, including 3 babies born last year. One area where a humanitarian corridor was established under a temporary ceasefire is Sumy, near the Russian border. 5,000 civilians successfully evacuated by bus on Tuesday, but their city has been devastated. In this video circulating online, the sound of tank fire can be heard in the distance as civilians prepare to leave. The Ukrainian military releasing this footage, they claim, shows a column of destroyed Russian tanks and other vehicles in the Sumy region. Ukrainian troops seen with captured ammunition. But conditions for many are now dire. The southern city of Mariupol has been under siege for days, cut off without power or heating, and now running low on supplies. An attempt to get people out from there failed after Ukraine said Russian mortars struck an evacuation route. For those trying to flee, the journey to safety has been long and difficult. And as Matt Gutman saw, it isn't over yet.
This is the prop room at the Resurrection Theater. It is now filled with donations. On this side, you can see stuffed animals. There are books over there. A family here eating breakfast. And in here,
I paused it real quick because I wanted to tell you, this guy right here, Matt Gutman, he's a ish. Okay, just so you know the lies can't be far behind. He's a 1948er.
To see something, this is the main theater hall where 27 people sleep at night. Now, the mayor of Lviv says that every institution in this city is now filled with refugees. There are 200,000 of them in this city. He says they can't take any more. They need outside help.
In another blow to the Russian economy, President Biden now banning imports of Russian oil into the United States.
Americans have rallied to support their Ukrainian people and made it clear we will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war.
This comes as a senior U.S. defense official says that despite fierce resistance, the Russian invasion force is still 95% intact. And the CIA director warning Russia could soon escalate its attacks even further.
Putin is angry and frustrated right now. He's likely to double down and try to grind down the Ukrainian military with no regard for civilian casualties.
Ukraine's asked for fighter jets to help stop the onslaught, but confusion among NATO allies after Poland said it had turned over Soviet-era MiG-29 fighter jets to America to give to the Ukrainian military. US officials caught off guard, and the Pentagon dismissing the proposal as untenable, adding, "It's simply not clear to us that there is a substantive rationale for it." Ukrainian President Zelensky appealing directly to Russian soldiers this morning to leave, saying, "We won't surrender." Zelensky rallying not just his own nation, but others too. Addressing the British Parliament, borrowing from the rousing words of its wartime leader, Winston Churchill. Saying, "We will fight in the forests, the fields, the shores and in the streets." It was an unprecedented moment, receiving a rousing standing ovation.
Well, we're hearing that there's been a mass casualty event. Possibly one of those humanitarian corridors has been hit. We're seeing patients coming through, but we should kill the broadcast right now. We don't want to show anything graphic, but that is what life is like here in Kyiv right now.
My goodness. Okay, Ian, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
All right. As you brothers see it right there, man. Exciting stuff. This is fabulous. This is wonderful. Okay, let's do this. Let's go back. Let's go to the history here. We may come back and find something else to play. Let's see. We played that, played that. And we may hit the, we'll see. All right. We'll see. All right, so the reason I put that in is because whenever the videos play, I have it's a little bit of a challenge to hear. So as you can see, and I hope you brothers out there understand what's actually going on, man. Edomite society is falling. They fighting and bickering against one another because Poland got a lot of 1948ers, okay? America, you know they got a bunch of 1948ers, right? Russia got a lot of 1948ers, as well as damn Ukraine got a lot of 1948ers, okay? So is Germany, Britain, they everywhere. They're a bunch of damn Edomites, man. So right now what you're seeing is Edomites bickering against Edomites. Shalom, brother. You know, Tawab Pariyah. Shalom up there in Rhode Island. All right. Excited to see you brothers up there, man. It's all good, bro. Ain't no problem. That's right. Damn devils, man. You seeing the fall of Edomite society, and pretty soon, you know, we speculate. I mean, this whole thing could really what they're doing, we believe, even though out front it looks to everybody else like it's gonna be this, you know, and it is, because the American people and the Russian people, or the Americans and the Russians, they really hate each other, right? But this is the thing. The 1%, the elites, they're going to use this. What are they trying to do? They're trying to bring about the NWO, right? They're also trying to bring about what else? The NWO, as well as what are they going to do? They're going to, eventually they're going to implement this MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16. That's going to come about. So at the end of the day, it's all good. Let them fight it out. Let's get another scripture here. We're going to go back to that in Matthew 12. And we're going to read that again. And so, lucky I had to move around a little bit. I was actually running errands, you know, or whatever. And I'm actually waiting while, you know, things are happening. But I wind up having to move quicker than I anticipated. But it's all good. Lord willing, the show is still going on and it's still edifying. So this is Matthew 12. And verse 25, it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts. Now, Yahushua was dealing with the wicked Pharisees. But he says something here that still reigns true even today. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then shall his kingdom stand? And in our instance, and in the world empire, Satan is in authority over the kingdoms of the world. But in the flesh, the Edomites, the so-called white man, is in authority. So if they fighting against one another, then how's their kingdom going to stand? This is also Mark 3 and verse 22. And the scribes which came down from Jerusalem said, he hath Beelzebub, and by the prince of devils casteth he out devils. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? He said, basically, how the hell you going to call me the devil, but I'm casting out devils? And he goes on and says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. And we're seeing these devils, right? We're seeing their end is close at hand because they bickering with one another. You know, let's get one more here if it says anything similar. Yeah, this is going to be Luke 14. I'm sorry, Luke 11 and 14. It says, and he was casting out a devil, and it was dumb. And it came to pass when the devil was gone out, the dumb spake, and the people wondered. But some of them said, he hath casted out devils through Beelzebub, the chief of the devils. And others, tempting him, sought of him a sign from heaven. So when he cast out evil spirits, people said, this dude is a magician, basically. You know, he's under the influence of Satan. How is he able to cast out these devils? But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and a house divided against a house falleth. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub, but if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your sons cast them out? Therefore shall they be your judges. But if I with the finger of the Most High cast out devils, no doubt the kingdom of the Most High is come upon you. And I want to say here, let me go back and address this because Jake loved to say this. Okay, so the first point is that these damn Edomites, they're bickering amongst themselves. Their kingdom is falling because they're going to use, the Most High is going to use Russia to bring down America, Babylon the Great, and the rest of the Edomite Empire. Okay, that's the first point I want to make. Now, Israelites will come and say when they bickering and whining and crying about unity, if a kingdom fight against itself, how can this kingdom fall? See, you don't understand the scriptures. This is the point. Okay, this is the point. Israelites having a scriptural wars with other Israelites is not a kingdom fighting against itself, because the only kingdom that really is being formed is the kingdom of heaven, which is for the elect on the first go around. Right now, you have Israel on the Most High fighting against wicked Israelites. We're not one and the same. Okay, we're not one and the same. You got wicked Israelites, they're of their father the devil. As a matter of fact, let's go to John 8:44 and let's read that. Go to John, because Jake loved to take scriptures out of context and think that you know what the hell is going on, and you don't. So this was Yahushua speaking to the wicked scribes and Pharisees, right? He says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Now, further up in this chapter, so he was calling them, he said, you're in the spirit of Satan right now. Even though they were Israelites, they were in the spirit of Satan. This is John 8:41. He says, you do the deeds of your father. Then said they, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even the Most High. Yahushua said unto them, if the Most High were your father, ye would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from the Most High. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. Why? Because they are not of the chosen. You see? Just like now, you got Israelites that they don't understand this. Here it is, these niggas is worrying about a goddamn Hebrew enterprise, and the Most High about to bring World War III and nuclear fire to this bitch. You what they're worrying about some damn Hebrew enterprise. Jake is an asshole, man. Now I want to read real quick here, John 8:38. I'll start at verse 37. He says, I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me because my word had no place in you. So he said, look, I know you Israelites, right? I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me because my word hath no place in you. You ain't of the chosen. You're the wicked Israelites. Listen what he says. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which you have seen with your father. You do the works of him that sent you. You see? So whenever you see wicked Israelites, just because you're a Hebrew Israelite and you got on a damn friend shirt does not mean that you are our brother, okay? And the Water Bros are posting those scriptures because I ain't got my other phone with me, so I'm kind of blind, but I can see these scriptures. I'll bring these out. So you can clearly see, even though kingdom fighting against kingdom, you know, the Lord said that Satan fight against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? But he also said any kingdom fighting against itself cannot stand, but it doesn't apply to us in this time now because elect will hopefully elect brothers ain't fighting against hopefully elect brothers, right? You have those of the house of David fighting against those of the house of Saul that the brother put up, which is a great scripture. This is Bakayar Yasharallah, 2 Samuel 3:1. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, right? And these wicked Israelites, they are the house of Saul, okay? They come in the likeness of Saul. They got that spirit on them, that wicked spirit that Saul was under. He had evil spirits on him. The scriptures say King David, the scriptures say that King Saul, an evil spirit from the Lord troubled King Saul, okay? So here it says again, 2 Samuel 3:1. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker, okay? And as you see us getting stronger and stronger, Lord willing, we build the house of David. Be putting out more videos, more lessons. The Most High giving us more devices. As you can see me now with the combo stream, and that strictly came through the spirit because I had this app for a long time and never knew that I could use it in this fashion. But the Most High opened my mind up, and I was able to, you know, stumble across it and find it. He also letting us add other things to our repertoire, right? And brothers finding new ways to go live and new ways to bring out lessons for the edification of the flock. Looking at these weak devils, man. They look a sight. This is T-Lock Yasharallah, Psalms 10, 101 and 8. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And them wicked Israelites gonna be cut off, man. Most High ain't gonna tolerate these niggas. These reprobates. The Most High gonna cut their ass off. So I think I may have one more video that I can go to and play. I'm gonna put these earphones in again. Just hold on, brothers, so I can hear what's going on. But as you know, everybody, we're all excited because we see the fall of Edomite. And even if it doesn't happen now, let's say Russia just suddenly packed up, or this whole thing blowed over, or they keep having these ceasefire talks. Let's say Russia was going to say, you know what, we was wrong. We ain't gonna try to take over Ukraine, this, that, and the other, and they just go back, right? We know that World War III is still gonna come at some point. Really, we might as well go ahead and get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go see if we can get another video here. All right, let's go here to this one.
Russian oil ban now. It's gonna.
So this one is ban on Russian oil will have direct impact on U.S. gas prices. This is from ABC News again too. Let's play this one. I can hear it loud and clear too.
Russian oil ban now. It's going to have a direct impact on the already skyrocketing gas prices right here at home. Our chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, with more on this. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, and this is a significant financial weapon the U.S. can use against Russia, but it does come with a price for U.S. consumers, and you see it here at the pump. Gas prices this morning, a new fresh record high, $4.27 a gallon nationwide. In just the last week, in this escalation, you have seen gas prices spike by their biggest amount ever on record, 63 cents higher in just 1 week nationwide, in many places seeing even bigger jumps than that, with Russia, one of the world's top energy producers. We got last year about 3% of our oil from Russia. If this continues, this escalation continues, TJ, Patrick DeHaan at Gas Buddy estimates that we could be paying 25 to 50 cents more for gas in the coming days and weeks.
Well, and Rebecca, in the meantime, a lot of American companies now, iconic American brands, are stopping business in Russia for the time being.
Russia is being isolated both financially, and now businesses are pulling out. You see McDonald's saying they are temporarily shutting down 850 of their restaurants there. Starbucks, PepsiCo, and Coca-Cola also among the companies that have said they're pulling out sales of some of their products. TJ?
All right, Rebecca, thank you as always.
Hi. All right, y'all heard it right there. That's it. So that's the major news. That's the major news that's going on. And I apologize if some of the news is repetitive, but that's what they're talking about. The American companies pulling out, oil prices going up, gas prices going up, inflation all across the board as well, right here at home and abroad, right? As well as the ban on the Russian oil. So that's all good stuff. This is Zakar Tazaiwan, Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine," which that black horse is representative of famine. Okay, so you see it coming, you know, famine of different types of stuff, and it won't be long before the famine of the word comes. This is Tilak Yasharala, 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. It didn't say might be burned up, could be burned up, possibly be burned up, but shall be burned up. So I'm gonna leave it right there, brothers. The water for everybody joining. This has been, will U.S. ban Russian oil? And the answer is obviously yes for now. Anyway, all right. This is a news combo stream. All right. So we'll see you again soon with another lesson, Lord willing. The water everybody for joining in. All right. Stay tuned. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Shalom.